Welcome back. You can tell it's a little foggy out here. It's kind of a dreary day, but the temperature's nice. I'm out here at Appleton Farms, and we're going to peek in on these splits that we did over the last couple of weeks. I did videos for the 2 steps that we did. First of all, 2 weekends ago, we broke the splits out. Last weekend, I checked on the Hawaiian queens that I got from Zach Henselman over on the Big Island. And you know, we had a great take on the queens, and so that was exciting. If you want to see those videos, I'll leave a link in the description below to those videos, as well as at the end of the video. Today, the objective is very simple. I want to feed these splits, make sure they're building, growing, and doing well. But I'd like to drop as many of them as I can in 10-frame boxes. If you'll recall, many of the splits were quite strong with quite a bit of brood. Some of that brood should be emerging and filling these nukes up. And I'm hoping to get them in 10-frame boxes and feed them like crazy, so the bees will fill up the 10-frame boxes with bees and be ready for a nice honey crop this year. I want to give you a quick heads up on a couple of videos coming soon. Number one, I'm thinking about doing a video on how I shoot my footage for my videos, kind of my setup. The equipment I use is quite simple actually. And just give you a couple pointers of things I do. If you're interested in that, let me know in the description down below. Number two, I wanted to let you know that next weekend, we're planning on doing a bunch more splits, and we're going to use queen cells. So be looking for that video as well. I appreciate y'all watching the channel. Let's get busy. You can see I have these 10-frame boxes here. They're used. Most of them are kind of old. And I've got the 1-gallon M-frame feeders here that I'm going to use. I've got the empty frames, the foundation I'm going to put in there. And we've got real thin syrup here with Hive Alive supplement in it. Hopefully that'll help stimulate the bees to draw it out. Now with the weather being kind of dreary, the bees really aren't flying a lot, but it's honestly not very cold out here. So I don't know if some rain's coming in or what. Hopefully they won't be too defensive today, but let's just crack a couple of these open and see what we got, how they're looking after another week of being in these nukes. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that beautiful nuke. Now, if you were gonna purchase a nuke, would you think that looks strong enough? I think it does. And typically when people purchase nukes, they put them right into a 10-frame box. So I believe that these bees are ready. Now the truth is too, with the M-frame feeders, I'm only gonna have 8 frames in the colonies. And so it's gonna be like an 8-frame deep, and so it ought to work out really well. Let's go ahead and transfer them over to a 10-frame box. The bees are getting a little testy already here. I found whenever I want to transfer bees into a 10-frame box, it seems to work good to put the nuke in front like this. That way I can just move the frames from here to here. You can do it side to side, but it just seems to work well in pallets. I'm also going to put the feeders on the inside of the pallet each side. That way when I feed them, I can just slide the lid over and fill them up. Close the lid back up without having to actually open the colony too much. Another thing I'm going to do before I put the bees in here is I'm going to drill holes, small 3/4 inch holes in the bottom of this pallet. The reason being, if the pallets are not perfectly level or tilted forward, water can collect, like back here in the corners. On this corner, there's actually a little gap. I like the way these pallets are built, so I don't need to drill one over here, but I will drill one here, and that way if water comes in the front of the hive, it'll just be able to flow out of the back of the hive. So let me do that real quick. There we go. Of course, that leaves sawdust all in here, which the bees will probably remove any of this junk, but this is something I should have done in preparation for the, before I ever put the pallets out here, but I didn't do it. And I haven't always done that. A lot of my pallets don't have those holes, but I think it's a good idea. All right, let's go ahead and transfer these bees over. Man, look at that nuke. Isn't that a beautiful nuke? This is a nuke that I would, if I was selling nukes, it's a nuke that I would definitely think would be appropriate to sell to folks. Now, a little situation with these. In a 10-frame box and a 1-gallon feeder, there's actually a little bit extra space. And so if you got any suggestions about that, just let me know. What I think I'm going to do, though, is put the foundation next to the feeder, like this. I talked to Todd a little bit about this as well, and he kind of suggested I might put 1 frame on the outside. You know, you can always rotate the frames in over time. And I'm not concerned about feeding these bees. I'm not concerned about feeding these bees syrup because I do not plan to harvest anything out of these deep boxes. These are going to be strictly brood boxes. Hopefully they'll build up quickly. Let's look and see if the bees have started to draw this frame out right here. This is a frame that was new foundation when I put it in here. And look at those bees. First of all, they look quite calm. Haven't done anything on the outside, but they've started drawing it out here on the inside. We'll put that one right there, I think. And I'm simply just going to move, I'll leave this frame out for now. I'm simply just going to move these 4 frames over here, drop them in the box, and be done with it. I may reconfigure, if we have a thick frame of food that's over on the feeder side, I may put that on the opposite side. For example, this frame right here is a heavy frame that's got quite a bit of food in it. So I think I'm going to set it right here. Don't think it's going to hurt anything. You may disagree with that. If so, tell me why. Any comments you have, just drop them in the comments section down below. All right. All kinds of eggs and larvae all through there. So I'm not going to take a lot of time and look in here. I'm just going to kind of transfer them over. Pretty excited about this. What do y'all think? These look like really healthy and happy bees. Now, much of the brood that was in here has probably emerged because, it's been a couple of weeks now. He'd actually have a queen cell right there. A couple of queen cells. This one actually has some jelly in it. I really don't want them to swarm on me. Not with these beautiful new queens. So it's important to go ahead and give them some more space. We got plenty of really young larvae, even if they are looking to do something. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting today. Yeah, we got eggs, and so I'm going to destroy any queen cells I find. Just because I want them to stay in the hive, and hopefully if I'm feeding them and giving them a little extra space, they'll stick around in the hives. But there's the queen. She's one of the ones that didn't have a mark on her because they must have chewed the marking off. And I think Zach messaged me. I think he was a little surprised when he saw the video of the queen release that they had already chewed some of the markings off. But she's just a beautiful yellow queen with the brown thorax, a lot of heavy Cordovan genetics, and she's got the clipped wing, and so that's one of his queens for sure. But I'm going to destroy any queen cells I see, any swarm type cells, and hopefully they'll just be satisfied in this box with her. That's the goal anyway. There's another big old heavy food frame. I'm going to put this one on the outside. Like this. Put this one right here. And I think in order to get that frame drawn out well, there's a couple things I can do. I can put it on the outside here and press it against the edge, move everything this way, or I can insert it, kind of checkerboard it in. Since that outside frame is nothing but food, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and checkerboard this frame right in here, like so. And I'm going to move everything over this way anyway, like that a little bit. It's just, I could cram another frame in there. I don't really want to do that. Or I could push it all the way that way or this way. I think a 1.5 gallon feeder would be better in this situation, or maybe even a 2 gallon feeder, but it's just what I have, and it's really my preferred, what I want to try to use. I don't want the bigger feeders right now. I think the gallon size is what I'm going to use. I've ordered a bunch more of these, and so that's what I plan on using. So, or you can kind of split the difference. So what do you guys do if you use a gallon size feeder in a 10 frame box? How do you manage the brood, or how do you manage the frames? This is what I'm doing on this one. If I run into a colony that doesn't have a thick frame of food on the outside, I may just put the empty foundation on the outside and pull everything this way. But I think it'll actually work quite well to do it this way. That may stimulate them to draw it out faster anyway. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to come back later and I'm going to fill that feeder up with syrup and hopefully just kind of leave them alone for a while, do nothing but feed them here and just let them fill this box up. And we'll be checking in over the next few weeks, and I'll keep you updated on how they do. Oh my gosh, I think we need to transfer it too. I really anticipate most of them looking a lot like this because I made some pretty darn strong splits. A few of them were a little weak, but most of them are really nice splits. All right, let's see what these girls are doing. Of course, they're trying to dry out some wonky comb here, so these are going to be wonky comb specialists. I'm definitely going to put this frame in between two frames that have established a comb. I didn't re-wax this or put extra wax on it, so expect to see some of that. Could even just take them multiple frames at a time and move them over. Not even gonna look for the queen. That was last week's video. Look at that strong split though, man. We got plenty of larvae and brood in here, so she's doing a good job. That's all I gotta see. Oops, we got a frame right here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously, if you come back and you need to readjust the comb any particular way, you can do that. You can shift stuff around in the box. Just not really sure how to handle this situation here. You know, like I said, I can jam a frame down there, but then there's no room to work. But I think as long as all the bees are over this way, they probably won't build a lot of wax back in there, but we'll see. If they do, I might have to shift some things around or figure something out. But I'm gonna get the rest of these done and then I'll show you how I feed. As you can see, we got all these nukes into 10 frame boxes. With the feeders on the inside, you can see we can just go right along there and fill them up very easily and then close the lids. This nuke down here was the one that last week had the ragged looking queen. I pinched her, put a frame over there, hopefully they're making a queen. We're just gonna leave it alone. Just let them do their thing, leave it alone for about 3 more weeks and then check in there and see if we have a queen. If we don't, we'll combine them with somebody else. So now I gotta feed them and I'll be on my way. Pretty excited about this. I have some other videos on my feeding setup. We got the trash pump right here into the tote. Comes on out into this hose right here. And then this is a game changer right here. I bought this Bradshaw syrup dispenser right here. It works really well. Don't have to bend over. It's easy to put food with the bees. I've just started using these in-hive feeders a little bit in the last few months, and I think I'm gonna like them. I've never really used them much before until this past fall. So let's get these bees fed and get out of here. All right, all you gotta do is stick it in the feeder there and fill it up, just like that. It may overflow a little bit, but the bees will clean it up. Very easy. Then of course all you have to do is just close the lids. Well, how fun was that? Bees are looking good. They're in 10 frame boxes now, hopefully ready to explode. What'd y'all think? Leave me a comment down below. If you haven't seen them yet, I think you'll want to watch the videos where we pulled the splits and where we checked on queen acceptance. I'll leave the links to those videos right here and right here. See y'all next time. Isn't this a strong split? Wow, these girls are going in that 10 frame box over there. Amazing times.